Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a community who raised their wealth based on how many lands you owned. This community is known for their vast land settlements. In that community, there lived a family of three. They had an only child named Kamsi. Kamsi is a beautiful and hardworking girl who takes her education seriously. Obiwanne, popularly called Papa Kamsi, is a very hardworking man. Though he did not have a male child, but he had a vast of land in the community and so was regarded as a wealthy man. Obiwanne had an elder brother named Lucas. Lucas, his brother, was the opposite of his brother. Though blessed with four male children, Lucas was always gambling and drinking. He was not a responsible man, and all he did was incur debts. He had 5 plots of land, which was his share after they lost their father, but he has sold everything to settle his debt and has now resorted to borrowing money to settle his debt. Lucas would meet his brother all the time to ask for money, and his brother will always help him out, but kept advising him to desist from his drinking and gambling habits. But all his advice to his brothers always fell on deaf ears as he kept coming back. One day, Ogechi, Kamsi's mother, noticed her husband was moody on his return from work and asked him what the matter was. He told her not to worry, that he would handle it. Little did she know that it would be the last conversation, as the next day he returned with a stomach ache, saying he would be fine. But before Oge could go get help for her husband, seeing the matter was serious, her husband gave up the ghost. Tears filled their household, and Ogechi wondered how she would cope without her husband. The burial rites were performed soon after. The first family meeting was held after her husband's death. Lucas got up, greeted everyone, and then immediately asked Ogechi to release all landed properties that belonged to her husband to him, stating that he was now the head of the family and only him will dictate what happens in their family. Ogechi was surprised as to what she had just heard her brother-in-law say. She said to him, "Your brother has just been laid to rest, and the first thing you are asking of are his landed properties. You couldn't even wait for us to finish mourning him. That are you that desperate to squander all my husband has worked for?" Anyways, she was sorry as she wouldn't give him anything. That all her husband had left behind, she would use it to take care of herself and her daughter. Lucas was so mad at her that the next day he called for an emergency meeting which consisted of the elders in council. They told him that it was too sudden for him to make such a request, for Ogechi to hand over all her husband's landed properties to him. Besides, what will they use in taking care of themselves? This did not sit well with Lucas, as his plan did not seem to work. Months later, Ogechi realized that she was pregnant and that her tummy had started to show. She did not realize this early enough because she was always crying and thinking that she did not notice that she was carrying a baby. She told herself that she will protect this child coming, most especially from her brother-in-law, as it was obvious he did not have their best interest at heart. Lucas kept his ears to the ground, thinking that Ogechi would try to sell one of the landed properties, as it was against their tradition that women sell lands. Or if she does anything he could use against her to get the properties of his brother. but nothing so far, and this made Lucas so angry as he could not wait to get his hands on his late brother's properties so he could settle his gambling debts. Ogechi concealed her pregnancy well and stayed off Lucas' path, and alas, she put to bed a bouncing baby boy. She was so happy and wished her husband was alive to witness this day. News spread round about the birth of her son. Most people were happy for her, well, except for her brother-in-law, who felt that news of her son has ruined his plan and chances of ever getting his brother's properties, as he has already shared how he would spend the profit made from selling the lands. Lucas started spreading fake rumors that Ogechi, his sister-in-law, had an affair and that child can't be his brother's own. Besides, she must have killed his brother upon finding out she had a lover. In that community, such allegations were taken so serious, and given the circumstances surrounding the birth of the child, she was summoned and told that she would need to swear at the shrine to not having a hand in her husband's death, and that the child belonged to her husband. This made Lucas happy, but Ogechi wasn't scared and agreed to do it. On the day of the oath swearing, Ogechi went before the shrine and swore to not having a hand in her husband's death, and that the child was his own, and also stated that if anyone has a hand in her husband's death, may that person die a shameful and horrible death. Few days later, Lucas was struck with something and started screaming. The next thing was him saying that he was sorry that he accused Ogechi wrongly, and that he was the one responsible for his brother's death. He said he asked his brother to please give him a piece of land as he was in a lot of debt, and his brother refused to give it to him. Lucas told his brother that what did he need so much land for? That he did not even have a son. His brother replied him saying that he wasn't his chi and left. That the next day he invited his brother and faked an apology just to make sure he poisoned his drink so he could take up his properties, as he did not have any male child yet. He also said he was waiting for Ogechi to attempt to sell any of the landed properties so he could deal with her. News of his confession reached the elders, and before they could get to his home, he had already passed away. They ordered the youth to take his body to the evil forest, as that is where his spirit will roam around. Ogechi and her children lived in peace, and they had a happy ending. The end. The lesson from this story is: desist from gambling, as there is no good outcome in it. Never bite the finger that feeds you, and know that greed will take you nowhere. I hope you enjoyed this story. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as it helps us grow. And also like, share, and leave a comment, and I will see you in my next story. Till then, bye.